The human mind is capable of some truly mind-blowing things. From the limits of memory to the mysteries of consciousness, our minds are full of surprises. Stay till the end for the most jaw-dropping fact. And if you love discovering the power of your mind, hit like and subscribe for more. Let's dive into the top 10 most mind-blowing facts about the human mind. 10. Your brain can process images in just 13 milliseconds. Your visual processing system operates at speeds that seem almost impossible. MIT neuroscientists discovered that the brain can identify complex images in as little as 13 milliseconds, faster than a single flap of a hummingbird's wings. This incredible processing speed means your brain registers images before you're even consciously aware of seeing them, creating what scientists call unconscious perception. This ultra-rapid visual processing served critical evolutionary functions, allowing our ancestors to quickly identify threats or opportunities. The reason for this speed lies in your brain's massively parallel processing architecture, with millions of neurons simultaneously analyzing different aspects of visual input: color, shape, movement, and context. 9. Your memory rewrites itself every time you remember something. Contrary to popular belief, memories don't function like video recordings stored in a biological archive. When you recall a memory, you're not simply retrieving a fixed record, you're actively reconstructing it, integrating new information and perspectives each time. This phenomenon, called memory reconsolidation, means your memories subtly transform with each remembering, gradually shifting away from the original experience. This explains why eyewitness testimony can be notoriously unreliable and why people recall the same event differently over time. Your brain prioritizes creating useful, coherent narratives over maintaining perfect historical accuracy, which serves an adaptive function but means our most treasured memories may contain significant inaccuracies. 8. Your conscious mind is only aware of a tiny fraction of your brain's activity. Your conscious experience represents only a small fraction of your brain's activity. While your conscious mind processes about 40 to 50 bits of information per second, your unconscious mind handles an astonishing 11 million bits per second. This means most brain functions occur outside your awareness. The unconscious mind monitors the environment, regulates bodily functions, processes emotions, retrieves memories, and makes predictions without conscious input. Consciousness acts more like a spotlight, focusing on the most relevant information. 7. Your brain can't actually multitask. Despite common belief, the brain can't truly multitask. What we perceive as multitasking is rapid task switching, which comes with cognitive costs. Each switch requires the brain to reallocate resources, lowering efficiency and accuracy. Studies show multitasking can reduce productivity by up to 40% and temporarily drop IQ by 10 points. The prefrontal cortex isn't built for parallel processing of complex tasks. The illusion of multitasking persists because the performance drop is subtle and happens quickly. 6. Your brain activity, while imagining, is almost identical to actually experiencing. When you vividly imagine an action, your brain activates the same neural networks used during the actual movement, though with less intensity. This is called functional equivalence. It explains why mental rehearsal can enhance athletic performance, musical skills, and surgery. The lines between perception and imagination are more blurred than we think. Imagining sights activates the visual cortex, and imagining sounds stimulates auditory regions. Your imagination recruits the same neural machinery as real experience. 5. Your decisions are made before you're conscious of them. In landmark experiments, neuroscientists demonstrated that the brain begins preparing for voluntary movements up to 7 seconds before a person becomes consciously aware of deciding to move. By monitoring brain activity through fMRI, while subjects performed simple tasks like pressing a button whenever they felt the urge, researchers could predict which choice participants would make before the subjects themselves knew their decision. This finding raises profound questions about the nature of free will and decision-making. Rather than conscious choices driving behavior, These studies suggest conscious awareness may sometimes be more like a post-hoc explanation that follows unconscious neural processes. The relationship between unconscious brain activity and conscious choice remains one of neuroscience's most fascinating and philosophically significant areas of investigation. 4. Your brain consumes 20% of your energy, while comprising just 2% of your body weight. The human brain is extraordinarily energy-hungry, demanding approximately 1/5 of your body's total energy expenditure, despite making up only about 2% of your body weight. This disproportionate energy consumption reflects the tremendous metabolic cost of maintaining neural function. Every time neurons fire, they must actively pump ions across cell membranes to restore their resting potential, a process that requires substantial cellular energy. This high energy demand explains why mental fatigue occurs during states of low blood glucose and why the brain evolved to conserve energy through shortcuts like cognitive biases and heuristics. From an evolutionary perspective, the enormous energetic cost of human intelligence represented a major metabolic gamble, requiring compensatory adaptations like improved foraging strategies and cooking food. 3. Your brain physically rewires itself based on experience. The brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, neuroplasticity, occurs throughout life, not just during childhood as once believed. This continuous remodeling happens at multiple levels, from strengthening individual synapses to reorganizing entire cortical maps. Practicing skills creates physical changes in brain structure, with areas devoted to those skills literally growing larger and more densely connected. Perhaps the most dramatic demonstrations come from studies of blind individuals who learn to see using their tongues via sensory substitution devices, with their visual cortex gradually repurposing to process tactile information. This physical restructuring explains why habits become increasingly automatic with repetition. You are literally carving neural pathways that facilitate those behaviors. 2. Your perception of reality is a controlled hallucination. What we experience as reality isn't a direct recording of the external world, but a complex construction created by the brain. Neuroscientists increasingly view perception as a process of controlled hallucination. Your brain creates a model of reality based on sensory data and prior expectations, rather than passively receiving information. This constructive process explains countless perceptual illusions, where what we perceive diverges from objective reality. Your brain receives ambiguous, incomplete sensory data and must make its best guess about what's happening in the world. Most of what you see is actually predicted by your brain based on past experience and only corrected when predictions are wrong. The mind-blowing implication is that we all experience a simulation of reality constructed by our brains, rather than direct access to objective reality. 1. Your sense of self is a constructed illusion. Modern neuroscience reveals that the self we experience is a complex construction of the brain, not a fixed reality. Our sense of being a unified I arises from multiple brain systems working together, as there's no central self module. Studies on split-brain patients show that two separate streams of consciousness can emerge. Disorders affecting selfhood, like bodily ownership or identity, further demonstrate that our unified self is more a useful fiction than a true reflection of reality. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thanks for watching.